Coming up on Check-In. This week, our travel episode takes us around a world of issues. We get some tips from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, hear some unique and downright bizarre travel stories, and finally catch up with the youth of Adelaide to hear exactly why you decide to see the world. We're also joined by special guest singer Garner Cronin to serenade us with some sweet beachy tunes. Welcome to Check-In, I'm Lucy Ahern. Check-In is a new show run for youth by youth. We discuss the issues you actually care about in a simple, informative and most importantly, interesting format. There's no frills, no fillers and no boring bits. Today our topic is travel. It's becoming an ever more common, a rite of passage even, for young people to give up the comfort of their lounge rooms and take off around the world. But what inspires this wanderlust and what are the hidden risks? Gemma Pietras talks to David Windsor from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade about the increasing rate of risk-taking behaviour of Aussies overseas. And Sarah Spencer catches up with a well-seasoned jet-setter for some interesting anecdotes. But first, let's check in with Victoria Moore, who's been exploring some of the globe's more unusual travel stories.
Thanks, Lucy. So it turns out travel can be more than just for work or holidays. Sometimes it's about finding your soulmate. This was the case for Louise, who was working in a London bar when she noticed a group of New Zealanders, one in particular doing the haka. Little did she know that this mystery man also had his eye on her for most of the night. An immediate attraction after he asked her out on a date, she came home gushing to a friend, "I'm going to marry this man." And that she did. The couple are now happily married with their first little boy. It seems love knows no international bounds. Whilst most travel for the love of it, a new trend, dubbed tragedy tourism, is revealing new motivations for holidaying. Tourists choose particular destinations in the wake of natural disasters or searching out memorials in order to get a feel for tragedies, how they occurred and the emotions of those involved. With the recent 100th anniversary of the Titanic, tragedy tourism has attracted significant attention. An identical voyage of the trip was replicated for enthusiasts, carrying the same number as the original. Passengers dressed in period attire could even dine on the same menu as the fateful night that the ship sailed. Some say participants were exploiting those involved in the disaster, but reenactors say they were just paying their respects. Now, everyone wants to travel, right? But wouldn't it be better if it was all for free? Well, one man has achieved exactly this, an all-expenses paid-for trip, but there was a hidden cost. Michael Wigg of Germany travelled 40,000 kilometres across 11 countries, but acted as a human couch in exchange for money, food and accommodation. He let people sit on him for rest and even pushed some up hills over his 150-day trek. I'm not sure that's quite worth the free trip in my opinion. Back to you, Lucy.
Right you are, Tori. Whether for volunteering, student exchanges or the chance to do your first fire shot, every individual's motivations for travel are vastly different. So we sent Sarah Spencer to Rundle Mall to investigate exactly why Adelaide's youth decide to travel the world.
Hey guys, my name's Sarah and I'm in Rundle Mall to find out what exactly it is about travel that appeals most to our youth.
Just to get immersed in the culture and the places you're going, see new places. You're going to live once, you might as well see it all.
Meet new people, party, have fun.
I just like experiencing a new culture, different to where I live, and just seeing how other people live their lives around the world.
Good to get out there and meet new people.
We just wanted to come to Australia to experience what we've heard, being very surfy culture and being very laid back, so that's why we first came to Australia.
Just meet people from different countries, different cultures, and just a learning experience.
Backpacking, partying and stuff.
See the world and meet new people.
Broaden horizons, new cultures.
Language and completely different to here.
Something exciting, new people, career opportunities.
When you're from one place, you experience it your whole life, you kind of just want to venture out, especially as a young person.
Europe, it's
so
just
different.
so cool.
Yeah.
It's just a nice place, everyone's nice.
You get to meet people, see cool stuff, yeah.
Being in a new place, just getting away from life, like the rush of work and busyness, just lay back and have fun.
Some very different opinions there. Thanks, Sarah. From fatalities and extreme sporting accidents to reckless drinking and drug taking, Australian youth overseas are taking some mighty big risks. In countries where they don't know their language, culture and don't have friends or family to fall back on, a little mishap can turn into a disaster quickly. Gemma Pietris checked in with the director of the Crisis Management Section in the Consular Division of the Department of Foreign Affairs, David Windsor, to discuss the hidden dangers of travelling and what new travellers can do to avoid being caught out.
I mean, I'm sure, sort of going to Thailand is actually a fantastic thing to do. But if you're then going to those places and then going and doing these, sort of more high-risk activities, you need to be aware of that and you need to take the precautions ahead of time. When you're overseas, you're not in Australia anymore. And, people do need to recognise and understand that and be able to take responsibility for themselves. I mean, obviously, we've seen what's been in the news, sort of incidents in Laos. But, it can also be, going to Oktoberfest in Germany just as much. Or indeed going, chasing the bulls or, being, the other way around, being chased by the bulls in Spain. All the things are, going and doing bungee jumping. These are all dangerous activities and, with sort of risky activities. So, if you're doing that sort of stuff, make sure you've got the proper comprehensive travel insurance and you've read it closely. What we do through our Smart Traveller site is not so much try to understand, the motivations of people. People are what they are. What we try to do is just pass on some practical messages that allow people to take responsibility for what it is they're doing when they're travelling overseas, as well as to give them some useful hints. Travelling will be about fun. Travelling will be about, sort of going out, meeting people from other cultures, other countries, and sort of seeing the world. We need to all recognise that and be, grown up and realistic about it. The same token, sort of those people who are travelling, individuals who are travelling, making these choices, also have to be grown up and take responsibility for themselves as well.
That was Gemma Pietris speaking with David Windsor from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. Now, we all have a friend who seems to have been everywhere. They've shared steins in Berlin beer halls, safaried in Africa and surfed off the coast of Spain. Their passport has more stamps than Lady Gaga. Sarah Spencer caught up with an enviably well-travelled man, Cameron Cowie, via Skype to share some of his best stories and travel tips.
So why did you decide to go on an exchange?
Well, the basic answer to that is because I like travelling and I've been doing it since a young age, and I thought this was a way to A, travel and B, learn at the same time. Oh, and C, also have your government help you pay for it, which is nice.
And whereabouts did you go?
The first time I went to Canada, to British Columbia, to Victoria on Vancouver Island.
And then on your second one?
I went to the Czech Republic, so there was just so much to do, and at the same time as going to uni, so I could almost pretend like it was work.
How did you find travelling while studying?
While studying, yeah, okay, that was interesting, because as a general rule, I'm the master of the last minute essay, and this really honed my skills in that regard, because you constantly have things to do. You've really got to keep your eye on the ball because you are there to study, even though it's a good time. So yeah, you've got to put the work in as well. But there's plenty of time for messing around. It's important.
What would you say to other people that are considering doing an exchange?
I don't know why they're even still listening to this, and they should be away booking it because it's been the most fun of my life. We went with 80 or something photos before we went. And then when I got back, I had like 700 photos. And like every now and again, I secretly go back over them for like a sneaky little reminiscence session. So I was like, oh, that was some good fun. So I think, yeah, the friends that you made, you'll keep them for life. And that was probably the highlight for me.
Thanks, Sarah. I am so very, very jealous. Now that's about all we have time for, but before we go today, we've got a live studio performance from emerging acoustic artist Garner Cronin. Enjoying considerable success, Garner has been enchanting audiences across Adelaide with his balmy tunes and soulful melodies. Today we'll be treated to Stockholm. That was Garner Cronin performing Stockholm. Thanks so much for being here with us today, Garner. Now that's all we have time for. Check in with us again next week for more critical issues facing the youth of today. I'm Lucia Hearn. See you next time.